Good afternoon. Welcome to this tutorial. This is Jerome Esperanza from ibuild.ph. We're a web agency, a small web shop based in Manila, Philippines. So we do a lot of Drupal. So for these Drupal projects, so for this tutorial, we'll quickly learn uh, how to display a listing, how to display terms under a vocabulary in a page listing layout. So for example, we have this website. So this website is selling generators. So we have different generators that have different brands, Cummins, Perkins, Mitsubishi, Lovo, Yanmar. And we want these brands listed when someone would click on a clickable menu here that says brands, and probably it will point it to a menu to a URL called generators slash the brand, or probably generators, so that no, yeah, brands. All right, we want that generator slash brands. When they click this will become a menu besides the main menu navigation, and when they click that, it will now go to immediately to a listing page that displays all this. And then later on they can be clicked on so that it will display the different products that are categorized under each. All right, so first and foremost, you need to have a taxonomy called brand. Okay, so we created a vocabulary first, and this is now that. And then once you have that vocabulary, we now can add the different terms. Of course, in this case, I've already added that. So these are all added under the brand vocabulary. So we have here Perkins, Yanmar. Sorry for the rest. I'll just clean that up later. I don't need the rest of them. All right, but I already have this. One, two, three, four, five terms. All right, so the next thing that you will need to do is to, once you have already created a vocabulary and the different terms under each vocabulary, under the brand's vocabulary, you can now go immediately to views and then add a view. This time what we want is we need to put in a view's name that may contain different pages and different blocks that pertain to the vocabulary brands. All right. An optional administrative description. All right, and then probably what we want is to get not the content just yet. That would probably be a different tutorial. What we want is to fetch the taxonomy terms, the different taxonomy terms, and probably at this point it will ask you now what vocabulary will you get the terms from. So we'll choose brand. And will that be sorted? We can fix that later on. So the next setting would ask you if you want to create a page display at the same time and create also a block display. So we might need two of those. So probably in our case, what we want is that this will become a page display already, right? So at this point, it's also already asking for a URL since you want to create a page listing for that. So under path, put in the desired URL. You can put anything here as needed. All right, and then this is the page title. And at this point, this is just creating the view itself, the page. It needs to have a menu, right? We need to have a menu that will be clickable from here. So you need to create a menu for that here. And of course, I would want that appearing under the main menu alongside the rest of the main menus that we have on the website. Okay, so probably choose main navigation. Okay, and this will become the the label of the menu, the one that will be shown here. So the label will be brands. All right, and then probably I want to create a block, in case I would want the same listing displayed in a sidebar block that may be used or may appear elsewhere. So I'd probably want to create a block also, a block version of that page. Items per block, since I only have five, around five that I need to show, I'd probably put in 10 so that, I'd be flexible in case more terms are added later on. All right. And then no need for a pager in my case. Pager would be if you have more than 10, you'll have a page 2, page 3, and page 4, and so on and so forth. But in my case, not just yet. Okay, so everything ready. So items to display here. I don't need a pager, by the way, on the page. Items to display, I'll put in 10, just to be ready if more brands come in later. Save and edit. At this point, you now immediately have a page created and a block created, right? So on the page settings, we now have, by default, it will show the path under page settings and what it will have as a page title. So it will now have brands. And immediately, since you have selected to get taxonomy, immediately it will now say, okay, the fields will show the term name. Okay, so this is the term title or the term name. Okay, we have Lovell, Perkins, and so on and so forth. Uh, but what we want is also later on, it's gonna these different terms will have logo images, description, and probably a clickable link. Okay, so let me just clean up my brand listing terms. So I do not need everything. So probably at this point, what we want is to install Drupal 9 Taxonomy Manager. So this is a bonus for you. What is a Taxonomy Manager? So let me just install that for a while. Okay. Taxonomy Manager is another module that's useful in, managing if you have a lot of um, terms or taxonomy to manage. Okay, let me just log in first so that I can install that module, and kindly hold. Let me just pause this first. Okay, let me just log in from another screen. Okay, so I need to install this first, Taxonomy Manager, so that I can show you how it works. I need to delete a lot of terms that were that were that are not needed. So using Taxonomy Manager will be easier to do that. All right. So now I have installed Taxonomy Manager. Let me just refresh the page, the site. All right. Using Taxonomy Manager, we need to enable the module. Okay. Install that Taxonomy Manager. So that's a module on top of the core taxonomy module, because we want to be able to manage taxonomies and taxonomy terms easier. All right. This is optional really. Okay. So using Taxonomy Manager, if I click on this, on the brand, because I want to manage that, I can easily, delete things I don't need. So I'd probably use the web developer toolbar to immediately fill that up. Let me see. The toolbar by Chris Pederick. Shout out. Okay, forms, check all boxes. Oh, it's not working here. So that's okay. I just need to, easily check the things that I need deleted. Or probably unpublished. Do we have unpublished here? No, we don't have that. Even with taxonomy. I don't need this really, so it's safe to delete. It's an overhead. I probably need Mitsubishi, right? So do we have, okay, yeah, it has. Perkins, Ralon, Samsung. Okay, one, two, three, four, and five. So I probably want to delete all of those checked items. And if there are children to the items, delete. So this is a quick preview of how powerful Taxonomy Manager is, or how convenient. All right, at this point, if I need to go back to our views and refresh that, we already have saved that, no? When we created views using the wizard earlier. All right. So you now have just all of these five here. All right. So the first thing you'd probably notice, these are not sorted. So if you want to sort that immediately, go under sort criteria, just click add, and this is important. This page override only, or probably if you want to sort both the page and the block, so both page display and the block display. So choose all displays already, and then probably sort by title. No, I'm sorry. Click add. Yeah, term name, brother. It's not title, but it's the is it name? Yeah. It sometimes get confusing to search for the term fields. So the field, the term title field, it's actually can be found as name. That's the correct label. So that's the taxonomy term. You could probably just, search for term and you probably get that name. No, not really. So you need to be familiar with that. So the label for the taxonomy term title should be name. So that's how you can find it. And display all. And this time, what you want is to sort that ascendingly. All right, so that alphabetically. All right. Then click all. So now letter C comes at the top of the list and Myanmar at the bottom. All right. Before that, we also want to quickly fix things that you want to show here. And in our case, what we want is to have an image, which is the logo of the brand, and some description probably, and some link. All right. Since the term name is already being displayed as a field, we have chosen the format field. All right, and it already has the term name. We simply need to add more fields. So if these brands have already uh, uploaded logos, so you probably just need to understand, go back to your brand and then check out the fields. And since there is already a field image for that vocabulary, so probably just search for image and you'll see there's an image appears in brand. All right. Okay, so we simply choose that. So this points to your field image that is being used on the vocabulary brand. All right, just choose that. and then that will be applied on both the page and the block. Okay, so just click apply. Okay, so it's asking for more choices since this is an image field. So what you want, what do you want? So we'll probably just use the original size of the image, and this time we want the image to be clickable so that it goes to, to the term page itself. All right, so you probably want to click that to the content. It will link not to the content categorized under the taxonomy term, but to the taxonomy term page itself later on. Apply all. And by this time, we already have Cummins, which has a wrong logo, Lovo, which has a wrong logo. I'll fix that later on, except for Mitsubishi, which I have not uploaded anything yet. All right, so I'll just click that save. Okay, maybe we need to fix one of those so that everyone has a logo. Mitsubishi. So Mitsubishi logo. Generator logo. If it has a, yeah, it has a particular logo for generators. I'm not sure which one to use. I think there's a Mitsubishi Power logo. I'm not sure. Yep, there's one. All right. I probably, just use this for now, but we'll ask permission later on. So I'll save that separately. So that we'll just have something going on in this tutorial. All right. So I'll probably go to that term. Okay. The list. And under Mitsubishi, I'll edit that. Upload a logo by in the image field. And sorry about that. Here. Upload and put in some alt text, you know, Mitsubishi logo. Publish. All right, so if I refresh my listing page from views, you get a logo already. All right, at this point, you have already created some basic settings, and you can already preview that by going here, view the page. It will now use the path that you have created earlier. If you want to change that, just simply click that and change accordingly. And I want to display a specific number of, I'll probably display all because there's just a few for now. And if it gets longer, that's the time I will use a pager from this setting. Okay, so once I have that already, probably this is good enough. I can build up the fields if you want to show description or anything else. All right, and then if you want to preview that page, just simply click on view page. We need to save this first. Okay, quickly right click view page, and you will now get something like this. So this is not what we want, the desired layout. So going back to our views, you'd probably want to, under format, use a different layout because right now it's showing an unformatted, you know, unformatted one taxonomy term content on top of each other. So that's the unformatted rather, unformatted list. So I probably want to use Bootstrap grid. And at this point, I want this format to be used only on the page display, not the block. Because the block, I might want something else, probably a list, right? HTML list or something, a bulleted list for the block. But for this page, we want a Bootstrap grid. You can use this grid or probably another module for that. So you may not have the same format options that I have because by default, I think Drupal is only providing you table, unformatted, HTML list, and grid. I can't remember exactly, but Bootstrap Grid is another module which I have installed so that I can have this feature. All right, what is the difference between Bootstrap Grid and the simple grid? It uses the Bootstrap column formatting, like the LG, MD, column MD, column small, XS, where you can do some more settings. Okay, apply this on this page only. Okay, so for desktop, what I want is to have a grid format divided into three columns. And for tablet, I want two. And for mobile, small mobile devices, it will display in a single column, each of them stacked on top of another. So this is the setting now for Bootstrap Grid. So depending on what you have format you have chosen, it may have different settings. So probably I want that. Okay, just click apply and we'll save that. Let's see if it takes effect here. Let me just refresh the page. Okay, so now it's now arranged alphabetically from left to right in three different columns. And probably in this case, I do not want to use the term to display the term name anymore. I want a cleaner look, you know, so that it only shows the logos, the different logos of the brands. So probably I want to hide the taxonomy term name. But I cannot delete that. I cannot remove that since this field is being used for sorting, right? You cannot sort images. You need to use the field. So instead of removing or deleting that, you just exclude that from display so that it does not appear. Ah, okay, I do not want to exclude that from the block page, just on the listing, on the page listing. On the block, I might want the term name, right, to be displayed, the text to be displayed, and just apply that, hide that. All right, and if I save that, you now have a beautiful, a simple listing that shows all the different logos. All right, okay, so I hope that helps. Um, if you want to check out the what Bootstrap Grid is doing, so here you go. You now have a the settings as you have indicated. For tablet you have two columns, so call MD6. For large desktops screens, uh, this is now four, so that's divided into three columns. So that's why it's LG4. you know 12 divided by three columns, that's four. So that's how Bootstrap works. But on mobile, for small devices, you want that you want each item to occupy fully the whole width. So that's why it's 12. All right, that's 12 for small devices. For tablets or iPads, so two columns. And for desktop and higher, three columns. So that's how Bootstrap Grid works. All right, so I hope this helps. If you need help, just contact us. Follow the links below or follow other video tutorials that we have for Drupal. All right, see you again. Bye bye.